Good morning, everyone. My name is Samundra Paudel, and today I will be presenting my critical reflection and evaluation of the learning program observed in the video scenario Enjoying the Vegetable Garden. This reflection focuses on children's learning, engagement, and outcomes as well as the teaching strategies implemented, resources used, and potential improvements for the future practice. Our reflection follows the planning cycle and emphasizes the intentional teaching, observation, assessment, and evaluation phases as outlined in the earliest learning framework version 2.0 and guided by the National Quality Standard, particularly Quality Area 1, Educational Program and Practice, and Quality Area 5, Relationships with Children. Uh, let's go to the first slide, Children's Reflection on Learning. In the video, we observed Maya, Crystal, and Avi actively engaging in gardening activities. One key reflection from the children was their pride and excitement in harvesting carrots and observing the growth of vegetables. Maya commented, "This is big," and Crystal noted, "That is a big carrot," which demonstrates that the children were aware of the progress and outcomes of their efforts. This awareness indicates that children are capable of reflecting on their own learning when guided by educators who scaffold their experiences. They demonstrated an understanding of cause and effect in gardening, noticing the difference between small and large carrots and recognizing the needs to water plants for healthy growth. These reflections shows the development of self-regulation, observation skills, and a growing sense of responsibility, which are the key learning outcomes identified in the earlier learning framework, including outcome 4, children are confident and involved learners, and outcome 2, children are connected and contribute to their own. The next slide is children's engagement with learning. The children engaged deeply with activity in multiple ways. They were physically active, exploring the garden, digging and pulling carrots and watering plants. They were socially interactive, collaborating with peers and communicating with educators. The engagement was sustained over time, suggesting intrinsic motivation and interest. Educators played a crucial role in facilitating this engagement through intentional teaching strategies. They asked open-ended questions such as, "Do you think that one would be a big carrot yet?" and encouraged the children to make predictions and observations. This aligns with the earlier learning framework principles that educators should extend children's thinking through inquiry and curiosity. The children were also exposed to scientific thinking as they observed insects like the cricket and discussed its role in the garden ecosystem, linking to outcome 4. Children are connected with and contribute to their role, and outcome 4. Children are confident and involved learners. Then let's talk about the learning outcomes achieved. From observing these children, it is evident that multiple learning outcomes were achieved. The first one is cognitive development. Children engaged in problem solving when deciding which carrots were ready to harvest and predicted growth outcomes. They developed mathematical understanding by counting broccoli and comparing sizes. And the next one is social and emotional development. Children demonstrated collaboration, sharing responsibilities, and experiencing emotions such as pride and excitement. They developed empathy and care for living things, as seen when the educator suggested relocating the cricket instead of harming it. The third is physical development. Fine and gross motor skills were enhanced through digging, pulling, watering, and handling small gardening tools. The fourth one is language development. Children used descriptive language to articulate their observations, such as "that's tiny" or "cutie." They also practiced listening and responding appropriately in conversations with peers and educators. And the five is environmental awareness. The activity fostered an understanding of sustainability, plant growth, and the role of insects in gardens, encouraging children to connect with their natural environment. The educators also used of observation and documentation allowed them to assess the achievement of these outcomes, noting children's engagement, dialogue, and problem-solving strategies. And the next slide is how the outcomes were achieved. The outcomes were observable through children's verbal expression, actions, and interactions with peers and educators. Their ability to articulate observations, follow processes such as watering and harvesting, and their curiosity about the cricket all provide evidence of cognitive and social emotional learning. Additionally, the children demonstrated self-motivation and initiative, important indicators of learning in early childhood education. The educators' documentations and reflective notes would further support evidence of outcome achievement, consistent with the earlier learning framework emphasize on assessment of as and for learning. And the next slide is teaching strategies. The educator employed several effective strategies to enhance learning. The first one is intentional teaching. Educators asked questions, provide guidance, and encourage children to explore and experiment rather than simply giving instructions. Second is scaffolding and modeling. By supporting the children to pull carrots or observe insects, educators scaffolded learning experiences appropriate to each child's capability, gradually reducing assistance as children become more confident. And talking about the modeling, educators demonstrated how to water the plants and handle vegetables carefully, providing a practical example for children to follow. And next is promoting inquiry. Educators encouraged curiosity by prompting children to explore why marigolds keep bugs away and discussing the cricket's role in the garden. The last one is responsive interactions. Educators responded to children's comments, questions, and excitements, fostering positive relationships and valuing children's contributions, aligning with National Quality Standards Quality Area 5. And the next slide is reflection on teaching philosophy. This activity demonstrates a constructivist approach where children learn through active engagement, exploration, and social interactions. My philosophy of learning emphasizes that children construct knowledge through meaningful, hands-on experiences. The garden provides a rich, natural environment for learning that integrates cognitive, social, emotional, and physical development. By supporting children to investigate, experiment, and discuss, we foster a love of learning, curiosity, and problem-solving skills in line with earlier learning framework principle of play-based learning and holistic development. Another is areas for extended learning. While the activity was highly effective, there are multiple ways learning could be extended further. The first one is integration of literacy, means garden journal. Children could create a garden journal to record observations, draw pictures, and write about their experiences, linking to the earlier learning framework outcome 5, that is, children are effective communicators. And the second is mathematical concept. Educators could introduce more structured counting, measurement, and sorting activities such as comparing carrot lengths or weighting harvested vegetables. And the third one is scientific investments or science observing growth and insights. Children could observe plant growth over time, conduct experiments with watering and sunlight, and track changes, fostering inquiry-based learning. The fourth one is sustainability learning. Composting, recycling garden waste, or observing local wildlife could promote environmental stewardship and sustainability practices. And also there is family involvement. Families could be invited to participate in garden activities, extended learning to the home environment, and reinforcing community connections. And the next slide is additional resources that could be added. To enhance the learning environment, additional resources could be integrated to first one is magnifying glasses for close observation of insects and plants. And the next is gardening tools appropriate for small children to increase independence. And similarly, there is picture books and visual aid about plant life cycles, insects, and healthy eating. And next is labels for plants to support literacy and numeracy skills. And same way there is weather charts or thermometers to integrate science and mathematics into daily observations. These resources would further promote critical thinking, problem solving, and engagement in diverse learning experiences. The next slide is evaluation of the program. Reflecting on the program, it is evident that the learning intentions were largely achieved. Children demonstrated curiosity, confidence, and independence in the garden, supporting the early year learning framework outcomes and fostering holistic development. The experience highlighted the importance of intentional teaching and responsive practice. Educators were skilled in facilitating exploration while allowing children autonomy, which aligns with the earlier learning framework emphasized on play-based learning and the national quality standard focus on quality educational programs. And the areas for improvement include providing additional resources to further scaffold literacy, numeracy, and scientific inquiry. And the next one is extending observation and documentation practices to track learning over time. Third one is incorporating culturally diverse plants and gardens practices to reflect children's cultural and linguistic identities. And the fourth one is expanding peer and family involvement to strengthen collaborative learning and community engagement. The next slide is national regulations, law, and earlier learning framework considerations. This program was implemented in alignment with national regulations and law, including the Education and Care Services National Law Act 2010, which requires services to provide programs that fosters each child's learning and development. The earlier learning framework version 2.0 was central in planning and reflection. Learning outcomes, principles, and practices guided the programs, including Outcome 1, children have a strong sense of identity through confidence and agency in the garden. Outcome 2, children connect with and contribute to their world by caring for plants and observing living creatures. Outcome 4, children are confident and involved learners engaging in sustained exploration and inquiry. And outcome 5, children are effective communicators using language to share observation and ideas. The planning scaffolds was used as a provocation to guide intentional teaching, assessment, and reflection. Educators observe children, documented interactions, and adjust the program to meet individual needs, demonstrating ongoing evaluation and continuous improvement in practice. And the next slide is professional learning and information sharing. Critical reflection on this program highlights areas for professional learning, sharing observation with colleagues can support collaborative reflection, enhance teaching strategies, and improve curriculum planning. Professional learning could include workshops on inquiry-based learning in outdoor environments, training in observation, documentation, and assessment aligned with the early year learning framework outcomes, and session on culturally responsive pedagogy to integrate diverse cultural practices in garden activities. And the fourth one is collaborative discussion on scaffolding learnings for diverse capabilities, including children with additional needs. Information sharing could involve team meetings, peer observation, and reflective discussions. This collaborative culture supports continuous improvement and enhanced learning experience for children. And the next slide is self-reflection on future practice. From this reflection, several improvements can inform my future practice. Intentional planning. Ensure all activities have clear learning intentions and links to early year learning framework outcomes while remaining flexible to children's interest. And next is resource planning. Introduce diverse materials that cater to multiple learning domains, including literacy, numeracy, and science. The third is observation and assessment. Document children's learning systematically to identify areas for extension and tailor individual learning plans. Fourth one is extension of learning. Plan follow-up experiences that build on children's curiosity, such as cooking with harvested vegetables, investigating plant life cycles, or creating a garden of journal. Five is cultural responsiveness, incorporate plans, practices, and storytelling them from diverse cultural backgrounds to enrich learning and reflect children's identities. Through ongoing reflection, professional learning, and collaboration, educators can continually improve practice and enhance children's experiences, ensuring the curriculum remains meaningful, engaging, and developmentally appropriate. The last one is conclusion. In conclusion, the Enjoying the Vegetable Garden program provides rich learning experiences across multiple developmental domains. Children demonstrated curiosity, engagement, and reflection, supported by intentional teaching, responsive interactions, and a stimulating environment. Critical reflection on this program highlighted the achievement of learning outcomes, identified areas for extensions, and emphasized the importance of professional learning and collaboration with colleagues. By integrating additional resources, culturally responsive practices, and inquiry-based learning strategies, we can further enhance children's learning experiences and foster holistic development in line with early year learning framework version 2.0 and national quality standards. In this way, I have finished my presentation. Thank you.